early mornings on weekends really is my favorite time to ride, because all during the week I'm dealing with traffic every day. Just a couple of miles west of my place, and haven't been out here in a little while. Certainly haven't been out here on the bike for a bit because it's just been really hot lately, and now we're on monsoon, so it's almost 90 degrees and 60% humidity. But I just had to get out on the bike for a little while. This is the town of Morado. Well, it's not really the town, it's under Buckeye, but the division here is Versatility. Kind of an upscale kind of a neighborhood. They even got grapevines. I guess they plan on growing grapes or something. So this is kind of a new development. They blasted off part of the White Tank's foothills to put this up, and then of course the new golf courses. There's only about 9 million golf courses in the valley, it seems like. So one more doesn't hurt. I don't play golf, by the way. This looks kind of a nice place. I've ridden up here on the bike a couple of times, but I've never ate here. It's supposed to be a pretty good restaurant. It's called the Victory Club. I don't know if you have to have a membership or you can just walk in. I really don't know, because usually I come up, it's like early in the morning. I'll come check it out sometime. It's a nice location because it kind of, on the foothills, and just kind of overlooks the valley. Not much of an overlook today because it's kind of cloudy and crappy. But the sun's trying to come through some of the overcast there. It's kind of nice. Notice anything different about my bike? Yeah, it's got a top case on it. Yamaha says not to put on a top case if you're going to have the side cases, so either one or the other. But I think they just say that just for liability reasons or whatever, because it gives you there's more chance of overloading the bike. So if you overload your side cases, then overload your top case, and then throw a pillion on top, I mean, you could exceed the 379 pounds or 389 pounds, I forget how much it is, of capacity. So I actually got this top case, and I'll put a link to where I got it at. A couple of places have it. Obviously, it's a Yamaha, so it's the same quality as the side cases, and it's really a pretty good side case, pretty good case. And it was very straightforward as far as the installation. I didn't do a video because it was just hot, but it had all the hardware, and then it mounts here to the frame, and then up here on the up at the top. And the case itself is very strong. I don't know if you're familiar with the with Pelican cases. They're like camera or gun cases they got like a rubber gasket in them, and then they seal pretty good, and they're very strong plastic. I think these are about the same kind of thing, because I have actually dropped my bike on this case, and it held it just fine, didn't do anything to it. So I see a lot of guys running around on bikes and with a backpack. I don't like. I have a motorcycle specific backpack, but I kind of don't really like it because it blocks that much more air, and then there's a weight on your shoulders for a while. But I mean, you got to have room for your stuff. I mean, I have a little bit of space underneath my pillion, so like the factory toolkit, my DVR, I have an extra set of gloves and a couple other tools and stuff. But some stuff you just got to carry. I mean, now that we're in monsoons, I carry my rain gear, and then in my little bag here, I have a tire repair kit. I have an air compressor, some Gorilla Tape, an emergency first aid kit, kind of a trauma kit with. I keep all that in here, and a few other things, but. I've seen people that they run around and they don't have anything. They're not prepared. I mean, I see them on road trips and such, and where's your tire repair kit? Oh, I don't have one. Where's your tools? Oh, I just use the factory tools. Well, I use those too, but I have a few extras, that I found that I have. And the thing that I can't do on the road is like, I don't have a tool to take off my back wheel or my front wheel. If it gets that bad, I think I'll have to call a tow. But the thing about the Yamaha side cases for the FJ09, if you were to get the ones that came with the FJR 1300, they actually mount the same. So this part of the case is the same as the FJR, but the FJR, the side cases are different, and then they stick out a lot. So I really didn't want to get those. I wanted to stay with a little bit narrower profile, but I wanted to have a place to put my helmet. And with this case, I put my helmet in here. I set my helmet in here, and then I rolled my jacket over top of it, and I was able to put my helmet and my jacket all in this top case. And Yamaha has two different sizes. This is the 39 liter, and they also have, I think it's a 52 liter, which the 52 liter is really, really wide, and I really didn't want that. I wanted something a little bit smaller. And actually today was the first day that I rode with the case, and I can't see it in the rearview mirror, and it doesn't ride any differently. Obviously, you see it's unloaded. Yeah, so, and it doesn't come with a key. I mean, when I bought this one, I mean, here's some Yamaha logic. When I bought the side case kit, well, actually Yamaha, the dealer, provided them as an incentive for me to buy the bike, and the whole kit was just over $1,100. But it came with 3 lock cylinders. So, they say in their manual they don't want you to have 3 boxes, but they provided 3 lock cylinders, and the lock cylinders did not match the ignition key. I had to rekey it. And a locksmith can do it, or if you take it apart and you're handy with a small jeweler's file, you can file it's just got little flat tumblers. It was actually fairly easy to do. I mean, either you can do it or you can't, but it's nice to do it with have just one key for everything. And this lock was totally different. The inner cylinder was the same, but the outer part was different, and then the locking mechanism is different than these. So I had to take the lock that came with the side cases and put the cylinder in this, and then it worked. And of course I rekeyed it to the ignition as well. So it's just kind of nice to have the extra storage. And then if you don't want it, it's easy enough to just pop it right off. And you can carry that into your hotel room or whatever. And this is, it's plastic and it's steel underneath, so it's steel and like a hard plastic. So I mean, you could run it this way, or you could take off all the cases, or you could just have just the side cases, or just the top, or whatever you want to do. It's just nice to have the extra flexibility, because these come off pretty well. But mainly, I just wanted to have someplace to put my helmet. Because see, I mean, you could do it this way. I mean, you could just have just the one case. And I have this lock here. It's just a bicycle lock that you set your own combination. And I have locked my helmet onto my seat. And that works fairly well. But, you know, I have my camera and then my Bluetooth communicator on my helmet too, and you know, so I usually always have to take that off, because I take that off and lock that in the side case and leave my helmet. But at least now I have an option of putting my helmet in the top case. So it's just kind of nice to have a little bit more flexibility. I mean, that was my my real intention with this type of bike, just because it's very versatile, and you can kind of do a little bit of everything with it. I mean, it's the only thing that it's not really good at is, if there was a con, is like the really high speeds, which, well, it really isn't legal any place in the United States anyways. But sometimes, I mean, I've had a couple of times at really high speeds where I could feel just a slight wobble. And I've never had the big wobbles, but that was always, you know, over 100 miles an hour. And I so rarely go to that speed. But as far as quality, I mean, it's very, very good box. I mean, both the side cases and these, I mean, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of different manufacturers out there. There's Shad, there's GV, all great stuff. But I really wanted to stay with the Yamaha factory look on it. There's a lot of LED type options where you could put LEDs in here, and but then you're going to have a wiring harness, you know, to deal with, you know, just as far as taking this off and putting it on. So I don't know, I may do that at some point, or maybe not. I might just leave it like it is, because when I'm sitting on the bike, you know, obviously I wear high vis. When I'm sitting on the bike, you know, my jacket and my helmet is well above everything. So, you know, I've had this bike now coming up on 2 years and 12,000 miles. And I still look at other bikes, and I still go to the dealers, and I sit on different ones, and you know, if money were no issue, I would probably have like a garage like Jay Leno. I'd have like a whole bunch of cars and a whole bunch of different bikes. But financially, I'm just I'm not in that position. So I really don't have any intention of changing bikes. I think that if I was going to get a different one, or another one, a second one, I think I would probably buy the Tenere, the Super Tenere, just because it's a shaft drive and it's you know, a little bit bigger bike, and it might be a little bit nicer to have on long trips and such. But as far as just around town, and certainly in freeways and just everyday use, the FJ09 just really fits me. I mean, it's very flexible. I mean, I got all kinds of storage. I could put more storage on. I can take storage off. And you can just kind of adjust and adapt, make it whatever you want it to do. I think I'll get on the interstate, take the interstate home. Probably about 6 or 7 miles interstate, just to see how I don't see how it feels with the top box on. Although I don't think it makes any difference aerodynamically, because the box sits directly behind me. Well, so even at 85 miles an hour, I really didn't have any drivability or rideability changes. I can't notice any difference with the top box or at all. It's absolutely a non-issue. I know that was a question that I had, but now I know the answer. All right, well, gotta go get some gas and head home and go do some other stuff. So, thanks for watching.